This is George from High Tech Legion. As you can probably guess, just taking a look at what's sitting here, it's a really interesting time in cooling. Typically, we only see a really viable contender for a top spot in cooling come along once every couple of years. The NHD14 held it for years, then barely got nudged out by the Fantex 14PE, and I mean just barely nudged out. And since then, we really haven't seen anything, that came close. But right now, we're sitting here looking at three coolers that really conceivably could take over a top spot. We're looking at the Cryorig R1, the Noctua NHD15, which is the follow-up to the NHD14, and we're also looking at a 240 millimeter closed-loop liquid cooler, the Zalman Reserator 3 Max, which is looking to be the best 240 millimeter closed-loop cooler on the market. So definitely very, very interesting time. Cryorig, newcomer to the market. Zalman and Noctua, who have been in cooling for a long time, have a lot of experience, and also have brought a lot to the table in the past. So now we're going to dig in and we're going to throw these guys up against the 14PE, the Noctua NHD14, and the Zalman's going to go up against its brethren in the 240 millimeter category, and of course we're going to see crossover with the 240 millimeters and the Air as well. So good time to be looking at it, and we're going to have a serious throwdown between some really big coolers here. Today we're going to be getting our first look at the Cryorig R1 Ultimate, and actually our first look at a Cryorig product at all. Cryorig, new product, or I should say company on the market, making a really big splash as far as reviews and press, especially over in Europe. Now, Cryorig, like I say, new company. Rumor has it the guys behind Cryorig have quite a bit of experience in the cooling world, and if looking at the R1 is any indication, they certainly do. I mean, this does not look like anyone's first effort as far as cooling, that's for sure. I mean, this is a top-notch looking cooler. Now, first, let's get a quick look at the box. Cryorig R1 Ultimate, as you see, in color black, as you can see, also comes with a white shroud. Now, if you take a look here, you see two different fans. They actually use this box for two different coolers. The R1 Ultimate, which uses two of their full-size coolers, and the R1 Universal, which uses a slim cooler up front. We're looking at the Ultimate. We're looking at the Ultimate flagship cooling performance here from Cryorig. Now, R1 right on the side, moving around the other side. Very simple, compact, and compatible, the dual tower that fits. It is very compact actually for a dual tower, especially one that is a top performing dual tower. 5-step easy installation, get started in 5 minutes. Really nice installation kit that we're going to get a look at. And also kill the noise, optimizing the acoustics. So Cryorig's not just looking to cool here. They're looking for a great balance of top performance with low noise. Going around the back, obviously all the detailed specifications, really nice layout as far as giving you all the dimensions of the cooler itself. The big one that's usually on everyone's mind, of course, is the height, 168 millimeters. So you do need to keep that in mind when you're shopping for this for your case. You can see the compatibility across the bottom. Basically everything that's current on the market, as well as some older stuff. All of the current AMDs, FM1, FM2, AM2, AM3, as well as the Intel 1150 family, 1150, 55, 56, older 775, 1366, and LGA 2011. Now, taking a look down here, you get your full, like I say, specifications. Important thing here, the weight with the fan, 1,181 grams. That's actually not bad at all. It's by far not the heaviest dual tower cooler we've seen by any stretch of the imagination. So we're definitely good there. Now, you see two different fans listed. The R1 Ultimate comes with two of the XF140 fans, whereas the Universal comes with one of each. Now, we're just taking a look at the Ultimate today. XF150 is high pressure, low noise fan. So what you're looking at here is 700 to 1300 RPMs at a max of 23 dB and a max of 76 CFM. So you've got some great air movement without a whole lot of noise. So let's move on and take a look at the chassis of the R1 Ultimate itself. The R1 Ultimate is shipped with both its fans in place, as you see here, and they do easily clip on. And as you can see, very, very interesting look to the R1 Ultimate itself. So let's take a look behind the fans and clip right off. As you see, really, really nice looking fan from Cryorig. They do have removable vibration pads. Why you'd want to remove them, I don't know, but all black, dark gray on the outsides with the black vibration pads. These are also available separately, and the pads do come in white and red as well. So you've got some very nice looking fans from Cryorig. As I say, 700, 1300 RPM, PWM fans. Now, moving on to the tower itself, as you can see, very, very interesting, unique design. I'm actually going to get the other fan out of the way, just so we can get a better look at it. And once again, just the clips on the center fan. Now, the tower itself doesn't stand too well by itself. It does tend to fall because it is not a symmetrical tower, as you can see here. It actually sits back. This is going to give you a little bit better compatibility up front with the RAM slots by having the offset where it's sitting back. But you see a lot of other interesting things going on here. And we're going to start at the bottom. Got nickel-coated, obviously, copper contact plate. Really nice milled finish, as you can see here. 7 6mm heat pipes. Now, if you take a look at the heat pipes themselves, they are not straight across. They are actually curved. So you can get more heat pipes in the same amount of space across the cooling block. So that's going to play a big part there. The placement of the heat sinks heat pipes themselves plays a big part in the way the R1 Ultimate works. Like I say, staggered and also lined up across, but not straight across. They are staggered. We're going to pop off, as you can see here. It actually uses a plastic cover to hold the fan on, as well as a little adornment up top. And getting a look, you can only see the three. The other 4 heat pipes are actually set back a tiny bit. So that offset actually gives a little bit better heat dissipation, a little bit better air movement through the fins themselves. Now, looking at the fins, as you can see, it's a 2-part design on the tower itself. You've got silver front part, black in the rear. And if you look, the spacing is not identical on the fins. You've got a much looser fin structure up front with a tighter fin structure in the rear. This allows for less static pressure going in, less resistance. So you're going to get more air into the tower and to the pipes themselves. Now, reducing that size causes more pressure, which is going to have higher speed going out the back. So you get lots of air in with higher speed. So that combination makes for more efficient cooling. Now, the pipes themselves use a unique soldering technique, that direct compression soldering technique, that Cryorig is the first I've seen to use, and actually gives about 10% more contact area on each of the soldered surfaces. Naturally, more contact area, better cooling. It's really that simple. But as you can see, it's a really good looking tower. It's really nicely made. The back, as you can see, on both of the towers, staggered once again to help accelerate the air right through the tower. So you get actually incredible performance, and it's really optimized very well, and it's making use of just very, very simple laws of dynamics in order to get the best cooling possible. Now, as you see, the plastics do strip off, so you can actually strip it down, as you see here, and they pop right back on. And once again, you wind up with the really nice look that you see out of the box with the Cryorig logos up top. So you're going to have a really nice looking cooler in the case, as well as an incredible performing cooler. Next, I want to get into the install kit and accessories that come with the R1 Ultimate. As you see here, packed in a slide open cardboard box. Now, Cryorig claims a very easy installation, and believe me, one look at the instructions and you know that it's absolutely true. It's a very, very sensible mounting kit. It makes a lot of sense. Even just glancing at the parts list, you can tell right away it just goes together very easily in your mind and makes, like I say, perfect sense. No claims of, hey, it's going to be a really easy installation and 30 Band-Aids and a lot of frustration later, you're still trying to put it in. So let's just run through it real quick as far as what's included in the box. Obviously, the mounting guide, as you see here, well laid out, very, very easy to follow, great illustrations, so you shouldn't have any problems whatsoever. Over on the left side, got your Intel brackets, all packed up. AMD bracket over on the right, and it actually does come with an AMD backplate, which is black also, which is very nice. So if you want to use that, you can. or I should say, actually, you have to use that. You can't use the stock AMD backplate, so you will be replacing it. And you've got 3 different sets of nuts, one for 2011, and the other 2 are for both AMD and Intel. 2 sets of fan clips if you want to add another fan. Why there's 2 sets, I don't know, but it's nice to have an extra set, that's for sure. Cryorig thermal paste, your product registration card, Y cable for your fans, vibration pads if you're going to be adding an extra fan. You've got extra vibration pads, alcohol pad for actually cleaning your CPU before you apply your thermal interface material, and the only tool you'll be needing to put it in is actually included a screwdriver, which actually bears the Cryorig logo. So really nice install kit as you see here, and like I say, I mean, not even having put it in yet, I can already tell you that it's going to be a very, very simple, very intuitive install. The R1 Ultimate and the R1 Universal use the same mounting system. Cryorig claims it's going to be a very quick, easy, under 5-minute mounting. So let's take a look. When we start with the back plate, as you can see, it is the same in every direction. So you're not going to need to worry about lining up the bolt holes on the back. It can go on in any direction. First thing you do need to notice, though, the 4 posts are 3 position on each corner, as you see, and they will slide all the way out for 1366, center position for 1150 series, and all the way in for 775. We're doing an LGA 1150 today, so we're going to put them all right into the center position and go around back and pop the back plate through. As you can see, 4 bolts will come through. Next, you've got your securing nuts, which will go right on, and just hand tighten them until they stop. Something really important to notice here, the back plate actually does not snug down. It actually hangs a little bit loosely, which you'll see after we've got all 4 on. Not your typical back plate that where there's actual pressure. It actually does have a little bit of movement and hangs a little loosely. So you're not doing something wrong if, you get these all the way down. And like I say, you don't want to over tighten. Just when it stops, you'll feel a distinct stop, just stops going down. And you can see it actually has a little bit of movement still left in it. That is the way it is supposed to hang. The pressure is going to be put on by the cooler itself. Next, got our retention brackets, which will go on. Important, notice they go top and bottom with the flares going up and down away from the CPU itself. And then just 4 thumb screws to tighten them down. Again, no tools required, just tighten them until they stop. You just want them snug, you don't want them over tightened so you'll have trouble getting them off later, or you wind up stripping out the bolt section of the retention. Okay, so we've got the retention bracket fully in place. Now we're going to apply the thermal interface material and just drop the cooler on. I've gone ahead and applied the thermal interface material, as you can see. Now, what we're going to be doing here, also I did peel off, obviously, the sticker on the bottom and cleaned it up with the alcohol pad, so we do have no residue on there. Going to get a nice clean seating. So obviously we've got the 2 bolts coming through on either side of the bottom of the cooler, and they will sit into here. Now, one of the nice things that Cryorig did, you don't need to remove the fans. You actually just drop the tool right through the second slot, and it will sit right on top of the screw itself. So we're actually going to put it into place. And tighten it down. All installed in the case, the R1 Ultimate's really a fantastic looking cooler. Now, as you can see, The R1 Ultimate does sit over the first 2 RAM slots, obviously. There's enough room there for standard height RAM without a problem in all 4 slots. If you're going to go with the big ornamental heat sinks on your RAM, you can move the fan out a little bit, not too much. I mean, the cooler's already tall to begin with, so your case is going to be a consideration as well. But obviously, stick with standard height RAM and you're not going to have a problem. So nice footprint in the case, really good looking in the case. Obviously, the black and gray color scheme is fantastic. Now let's take a look at it with a third fan, because you can actually do a third fan on here for a little bit better cooling efficiency. Obviously, adding the third fan, it gives you a distinctly larger footprint in the case, as you see, but it also sets you up with a very nice air intake and exhaust right into the exhaust fan of the case. So once again, not so huge that it's a big concern, and it sets up, like I say, a very, very nice exhaust setup. Of course, most people are going to use it just strictly as a dual fan, but the third fan is an option if you want to use it. Putting the R1 Ultimate through its paces, we see that obviously a 4770K stock is really no match for it. It's a top-tier cooler, and as you see, it performs right alongside the top-tier coolers here. Interesting note here, of course, we see it tops out at 38 dB. That is a maximum noise that this cooler is going to put out. Obviously very, very good. The tone of it also is a little bit different, so it's not as noticeable outside the case. So move over to the next test where we check CPU temperatures, at stock, while the coolers are putting out less than 40 dB. Obviously does not affect the R1 Ultimate or the air coolers, but as you see, it does affect the CLCs a little bit, and we see a little bit better performance out of the R1 Ultimate and the other airs than we do out of the CLCs. Now, move over, and we're going to bump up the clock to 4.4 gigahertz and bring up the voltage to 1.206. And here we see really fantastic results from the R1 Ultimate. Once again, max fan's 38 dB. That's not going to change. Max fan is max fan. And really fantastic results under load, as you see. Only 67 degrees, topping our previous best Fantex TC14PE by a couple of degrees. And, the best cooler among the group. Now, as we move over, and this is really where we see things take a turn. Once again, keeping all the coolers under 40 degrees, the Cryorig obviously doesn't change. We see the CLCs, the temps just, soar, while the fans are tuned down. So the Cryorig, delivers just phenomenal performance across the board while keeping the noise way down, under 38 dB. That's a great number and really great performance, all around stock and overclocked. As I had stated earlier, Cryorig is a new company, and the launch of the R1 Ultimate was actually a pretty soft launch. We did see some press releases here and there, but it wasn't getting thrown in our face by like every online e-tail or everything else. So when I got the piece, I wasn't really sure what to expect. Now, I can tell you that when I opened the box, took it out, took a look over all the components, I did actually state that the R1 Ultimate is probably, as a total package, the nicest cooler I've ever laid my hands on. And I've laid my hands on just about everything, so it's in some pretty good company. Now, when I say that, this is before I even looked at the performance, and I'm glad the performance actually did back that up. But, the packaging is gorgeous. The design of the cooler is fantastic. The aesthetics on it are absolutely phenomenal. It's great looking in the case. The design, beautiful. As far as the engineering goes, the craftsmanship on it is spot on. It's absolutely perfect. Fans, really nice looking. The mounting kit is phenomenally designed. Very easy to work with. You do go on a little bit of a fishing expedition if you're trying to do it in the case. If you don't remove the center fan, but you remove the center fan and, it goes right in. It's literally a 2 to 3 minute install. Just really fantastic design all around. And like I say, the benchmarks absolutely back it up. The performance was absolutely phenomenal on the R1 Ultimate. And as far as noise to performance goes, fantastic. Really, comes close to the best of the best as far as noise to performance goes. And the top end performance itself was the best thing we've ever tested in air or a 240 millimeter CLC. So, you're in some pretty heady company here. So obviously, Cryorig is getting an Editor's Choice Award for the R1 Ultimate. And, something I really want to say, the R1 Ultimate isn't just a great enthusiast top-tier cooler. The R1 Ultimate in Cryorig's first release joins, a really elite type of cooler. There's only a couple other coolers on the market that even come close, and arguably the R1 Ultimate as a total package is the best of them. So kudos to Cryorig on their first effort, Editor's Choice Award, and possibly the best all-around cooler I've ever seen.